You see the werehog? You see it? You see it? You become the werehog. I am the werehog. My name is Ray, back with another video. Sonic Heroes is the greatest 3D Sonic game ever created. You never forget those things. This is Sonic Talk, another episode that I want to do. This one is very interesting to me, and that is because, this game right here, is everyone's favorite 3D Sonic Boost game, is everyone's favorite, one of everyone's favorite Sonic game in general. It's not my favorite Boost game. My favorite Boost game is Sonic Generations, followed by Rush, But, yeah, with that being said, I want to get into a little bit about this game, I don't intend to make this video too long, even though this is a Sonic Talk, so I kind of want to get into some intricacies of what I like and what I don't like about Sonic Unleashed, The difference is night and day, as you see on the back here, I just love showing off, some of the physical copies of Sonic games that I have. I don't have a whole lot of physical copies of Sonic games. I wish I did. I have more digital than physical, but I do have physical copies of, most of the Sonic games that I love, I should say, or the few of them that I do love. But I wish I had, physical copies of, the Genesis games, for example, even though I never grew up or had a Sega Genesis in my life, But that's besides the point right now, But, yeah, Sonic Unleashed. A lot of people seem to say that this game here is one of the best 3D Sonic games in the series. Now, me personally, I didn't play this game for myself until a couple years ago. Now I seen this game when I was younger back then. When I used to watch other Sonic tubers cover this game on YouTube. You may know who they are, or you may know One Pacific One. I don't really have to do, you wouldn't have to guess, if that makes sense, at all. But yeah, this is a very good 3D Sonic game. It's not my favorite Boost game. Like I said, my favorite Boost game is Generations, followed by Rush, And when I first played this a couple years ago, I realized this is a very A-tier type of Sonic game to me, just the difficulty, the way the boost mechanics in this game just keep you on your toes, the quick time events and all of that. And yeah, I really do because I do think that this is the most difficult Boost game in the series, and second, in my opinion, would be Rush, and those things I do like, if that makes sense, because it brings a sense of challenge, and that's what I like when it comes to Sonic games. I don't like it to be too basic, you know what I mean? And yeah, I just like I just like gameplay that keeps you on your toes, and that's just not with Sonic, but that's just with other games as well that I play, or just period, that type of stuff just engages me. Again, that this is completely subjective to, everyone's play style, what they like, what they don't like, but what I find engaging in video games is when, stuff keeps you on your toes, you're not at ease all the time, you gotta constantly stay on it, So I like when games do that, because I just find it more engaging when games do that, especially Sonic games, if that makes sense. But even Mario games, to be honest with you, which Mario 3 is the best 2D Mario game in the series, aside from maybe the DS one. But I haven't played the DS one. I'm saying that based on what I've seen of it, and it looks really, really great, But I have to play it for myself. But I don't know why I'm talking about Mario now. What I'm trying to say, though, Sonic Unleashed. Yeah, a lot of people love this game now, apparently. I remember when I was younger back then, though, the discourse on this game wasn't that great, just due to the werehog and all of those things, Now, me personally, I'm getting to the, I don't know why it's blocking the camera. I'm going to get into it right now, though. I personally love the werehog. I love the werehog, not just the character, not just the design, but I love the Werehog in terms of the gameplay, in terms of the combat. I do think the Werehog combat is better than Sonic Frontiers combat. It's not better than Heroes combat, because that combat is the GOAT, you know. It's very simple combat, but it's 1, 2, 3, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, right? You know what I mean? And it works perfectly in that game, you know. But Unleashed combat is really good. In my opinion, I like it, you know. And I'm not even that good. I'm not even that good at the combos and nothing like that. I'm not even that good when it comes to mastering like the Werehog gameplay in Unleashed. I just like it because it's fun and I find it very engaging, you know. So I'm not in the mentality of, you know, that you have to like something if you're good at it, you know, because in my opinion, there's things that I'm not good at that I like, you know what I mean? So I just think, you know, that's all subjective in my opinion, and you know, you could take that one way or another, my friends. But yeah, I don't know what I'm saying, man. I just get on here and I start talking wacky stuff, but nevertheless, yeah, but I like the Werehog gameplay. I do think it's very engaging. The combat, the platforming with the Werehog, I like all of it. Some people say it's slow, and yes, like finding the medals and Unleash, and I will get on that in a moment. But yes, the medal collecting is tedious if you don't know where they are, especially like if you're new to the game. It can be quite a learning curve just to get the medals, because you do need them to progress, especially like later in the game. But if you play Unleash enough, it's not going to be as hard, in my opinion, to find them, even if you're not trying to. And again, where every Sonic game has, except for Forces, every Sonic game has replayability, right? So, or that's what's incorporated into Sonic gameplay design, right? So by default, I'm pretty sure, you know, your average, well, I wouldn't say average, but if you're a Sonic fan, I'm pretty sure you're just not going to pick up Unleash and just leave it one and done, right? You know what I mean? Maybe if you're a casual, and that's fine if you are, but if you're a hardcore Sonic fan, you're not just gonna pick up Unleash and just one and done it, you know what I mean? Especially if you like it. Now, if you don't like it, again, you know, that's understandable, obviously. But if you like it, you're not just finna do that, you know what I mean? But yeah, what else I was gonna say? The medal collecting, yeah. So the medal collecting, had to get used to it when I first played this game, like a couple years ago, for the first time for myself. That is, I had to get really used to it because, like, you know, it was blocking my progression. You know what I mean? And I don't really like that when it comes to games, not just Sonic, but just in games in general. I don't like collecting things just to progress. I played a little bit of Super Mario 64 for the first time, like within the past 2 years or so, and I kind of don't like. And I mean, no, never mind. That's like with most 3D Mario games, for example. You gotta really do that, like go into the level like multiple times to do different tasks, I think, and stuff like that to get the stars. And I know, again, this is about the Sonic, but you know, I must bring, you know, the Great Plumber into this because, you know, I like both. I like both series, you know what I mean? And I do want to cover some Mario in the future. You know, I just don't want to be purely a Sonic channel. I thought I did in the beginning, but, you know, if I have the time, like, which I don't really have a lot of that right now, but I'm trying to push out these vids because I do just want to upload my gameplay of these games. Hopefully, eventually. But as I was saying, I'm all over the place, man. Mario. I don't really like that when it comes to most 3D Mario games where you have to go into the level and do different things just to progress and get like stars or whatever, just to progress. I don't really like that. I don't hate it, but I just don't like it, if that makes sense. You know, I'm not like totally 100% against it. It's just I don't prefer it. I just prefer like straightforward 3D Mario games akin to like 3D World, something like that in a way. I haven't played Odyssey, so I don't know if Odyssey is like that, but I think it is though, since it's like open sandbox, like Sunshine 64, etc. You know, but I'm more of a fan of 2D Mario anyway, just to make that clear. I like 2D Mario more, and specifically, you know, with Sonic it doesn't matter as long as it's good 2D or 3D. It doesn't matter as long as it's great. But with Mario, I tend to prefer 2D Mario more than 3D Mario, but that's just how I feel, I guess, you know. But you know, that's for another topic. But what else I was gonna say? What else? So yeah, I'm not a fan of the whole like collecting things to progress type of thing. And when it comes to video game, come on, don't do this to me. Recording. When it comes to video games in general, I don't really like that. So why that is like an off-putting thing about Unleashed that I don't like, and again, I don't like it in Mario either, to be honest. Like most 3 Mario games, to be exact, I don't really like that. I'm not against it, but I just don't like it, you know. But I can tolerate it, I guess, as long as it's not too like tedious. That is, which for the most part, Mario games are not tedious with it. And this game, in my opinion, with the medal collecting, is not tedious with it either. You just have to learn where they are, which, you know, they're not like super hard to find. Like, you got to really go out your way and, you know, discover them, right? You know, and all of that. You don't really have to do all of that. You just have to kind of just get used to the game in a way, and you'll get the medals, you know, in my opinion, you know. But yeah, but this seems to be a lot of people's favorite 3D Sonic game now, or favorite boost game. So I'm gonna go over the positives that I like about Unleash, in my opinion, and those positives, in my opinion, are the difficulty, keep you on your toes, the quick time events, the boost level design in this game is very top tier. I will say that but I will say, just because something is difficult, that doesn't mean I always like it more. Personally, it just has to be engaging enough to where I get stimulated from it a lot. Like Generations, for example, is way easier than Unleash, in my opinion. But I love Generations more just because it gives me that feel, and I can't really explain that feeling, but it stimulates me a little bit more than Unleash when it comes to the boost gameplay. In my opinion, I do think the boost gameplay Unleash, again, is very top tier, very good. The level design is very good, but I do like the Werehog stages a little bit more in Unleash, I would say. What's the best way I can put this, in my opinion? The worst boost stages in Unleash, to me, the best warehouse stages outshine them, in my opinion, of the worst boost stages in this game. You know, in my opinion, that is, the best boost stages outweigh the worst warehouse stages, which is not too many, because I mostly love the warehouse, most of the warehouse stages in this game, except for like maybe 1 or 2, I think, something like that. You know, but most of them are like when I boot up Unleash, I do play the booster levels a lot, but I also play the Werehog stages a lot as well. But I do think the worst booster levels in this game, though, the Werehog stages, the best Werehog stages outshines them, in my opinion. I think that's the best way I can put it. At least in my opinion, that is, you know. And I'm a big fan of Rooftop Run Night with the Werehog. I know a lot of people don't like that level, but that's one of my favorite Werehog stages in the game. I can replay that level over and over again and not get tired of it. Even though that's like one difficult level, in my opinion. But you know, I just like the plot. Again, when it comes to Sonic, I know a lot of people just like going fast and all of that, and that's why some people don't like the greatest 3D Sonic game ever created, which is Heroes, because there's a lot of combat, there's a lot of stopping and combating with the enemies and heroes, right, and all of that stuff. A lot of people just like going fast, but I don't think Sonic was always just about going fast, you know. Either it was about going fast and keeping your momentum up, and knowing the use of combat to your best ability to keep the pace up at the same time. Hence the reason why, hold on right fast, I gotta do something. So give me one moment. I can't even pause this recording on this thing right fast. So give me one moment, actually. It's gonna be a quick second. All right, yeah. So as I was saying though, yeah, I don't think Sonic is all about going fast though, and I don't think like in certain Sonic games, like the action sections or the combat sections, like doesn't slow it down. Like a lot of people don't like the, you know, like the little areas that, like in Sonic Rush, for example, a lot of people don't like the little areas where some of the stages lock you into and you gotta like take out the enemies before you can continue on. I don't think that breaks the pace, in my opinion. I just think that adds an extra layer to the level that you just got to take out the enemies, then you progress. You know, if you're fast enough, you can do it fast while keeping the pace up at the same time. You know what I mean? Depending on like your skill level, that is, you know. So that's how I kind of see it. I don't think Sonic games just needs to be all about going fast, 24/7. I don't think that Sonic does work with combat if done correctly, in my opinion, and the Werehog is proof of that. Even Frontiers is proof of that, even though like I think the Werehog again is way better than the combat in Frontiers. But even Frontiers has decent to good combat, and a lot of people just say it's, you know, just animations, you're just looking at Sonic, you're not really doing much in Frontiers like with the combat, but it still looks good though, in my opinion, and I don't hate it, you know, when it comes to Frontiers though, you know what I mean? What I would love for them to do more engaging combat and all that in like a future Sonic game or whatever, or the next mainline 3D Sonic game, yeah, but you know, I'm just not against it, if that makes sense. You know, I don't think it's a pace breaker. You know, I don't think it's a pace breaker in Heroes, My Love. You know, I don't think it's a pace breaker in that game at all. I don't think it's a pace breaker in this game. Rush, even when you got to go back and forth to take out the enemies and the little hallways that it lock you into before you can continue, I don't think that's a pace breaker either. I just don't think it's a pace breaker, you know. So what else positive I was going to say? Yeah, the boost stages, the boosted level design, the difficulty of the boost levels in this game, you know, it doesn't just hand you S ranks like Generation does, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I encourage anyone that, you know, if you never play Unleashed or Generations, if you play Generations first, that game will probably make you feel like you're a Sonic master, right? You know, until you touch this game, you know what I mean? This game gives me a run for my money, and I'm a hardcore Sonic fan, you know what I mean? And you know, it puts me in the chills at times when I play this, because some of the stages are just difficult, you know, and, you know, even though I put a lot of time into this game, you know, I still have to like really be on my toes, because Unleashed is like the fastest 3D Sonic game, I think, in my opinion. I think it is, you know, don't quote me on that, but I think it is, you know. I think this is the fastest 3D Sonic game. I think this is, especially when you fully level up Boost Sonic, that is a regular Sonic, I think. So, you know, and I played this I downloaded a 100% save file of this game before and just played maxed out Sonic, and yeah, he's fast as hell, you know, too fast for me even, you know, but you know, it's fun to play around with though at times, like whenever I do it or whatever. And also speaking on the save file thing, one con that I will say about Unleashed though is that the game locks you out of like certain areas in the boost stages if you don't have like all your upgrades on a new file, you know. So it kind of feels like a session where you're supposed to light speed dash earlier in the game. You can't do the light speed dash because you don't have it yet. And this problem also is in Adventure 2, but Adventure 2 is a little different, and I'll explain that in a moment. But like this game locks you out of that, in my opinion. So in a way, it feels like the game is just limiting me from just doing a light speed dash when I can't do it because I don't have it when I start a new save file in this game. And that's the only con that I will say. Like, you can't start a new save file with like all your upgrades if you want to do that, like you can in Sonic Adventure 2, you know. If that makes sense to you, you know. And I can do both just fine at this point with a new file with no upgrades. But I'm just saying that, you know, I think this game should also did that as well, like let you start a new game with your upgrades if the player just wanted to do that. And you know, that's one con I would say about Unleashed, you know, because again, there's times where I'll be starting a new game and I'll be thinking I have to stump or the light speed dash and I don't have it, and it just messes me up or even causes me to get a lower rank, I think, just because I don't have specific upgrades in the beginning of the game, because it's limiting me because I started a new file and I can't keep my upgrades right from the previous file or something like that, you know. So, but that's one complaint that I have about Unleashed. I think that's probably the only major one I have about Unleashed, is that it's nothing that, again, this is a really solid, well polished 3D Sonic game, and a very good boost Sonic game at that, you know. Not the best one in my opinion, because again, I think that goes to either Rush or Generations in my opinion. But this is a very fun boost game. But I do think I like the Werehog stages a little bit more than Boost Sonic in this game. And I know that's kind of like unpopular to say that type of opinion. but I think I like the Werehog a little bit more in terms of gameplay than the boost stages in this game, you know. But that's just my opinion, I think, you know. But I typically like see this game, like the boost stages and the Werehog stages, on the same level, like in terms of quality and in terms of how much I like them, and all of that, you know. But I do think the best Werehog stages in this game outweigh the boost stages, in my opinion, you know, just by a, you know, just in my opinion, I should say, you know. But that's just kind of how I feel, though. So only in this game, though, I don't personally think I would put the Werehog though over the boost stages and generations, though. I don't think, but in this game, though, I do kind of put the Werehog stages over the boost levels, you know, at times, you know, in this game, you know. It also just depends on my mood, too. But most of the time, it's how I naturally feel about Unleashed, in my opinion. So, yeah. What else I was going to say? The positives, I already think I said. I think all of that I can say. You know, the stages are fine. Not the best in my opinion, like not the best stages in the series and then like that. Some of the best stages in the series, I should say. Let me rephrase that, but not the, you know, not the greatest 3D Sonic game, like from beginning to end. That's Heroes, you know. But this is a great 3D Sonic game. You know, it has its goated moments. You know, I will say that, but it's not my favorite just due to like certain things that, you know, I don't like about it in terms of, you know, just boost gameplay. And I'm not a boost gameplay first Sonic fan. I'm an Adventure Era 3D Sonic fan more. So I like the free movement of the Adventure Era, the acrobatics, the momentum-y designs of, you know, not designs, but the momentum-y feel of the Adventure Era type games, and just that full 360 movement, you know, with Sonic. That's just what I like. So I'm not a boost Sonic fan first and foremost. I'm an Adventure Era 3D Sonic fan, that is, if that makes sense, you know. So the boost games are, in my opinion, second place to the Adventure Era games, but that's just how I feel, and I always felt that way, in my opinion. But, you know, and the reason for that is, you know, I just think the boosts kind of just limit Sonic in certain ways, you know what I mean? Like in Adventure Era, you have full momentum, directional input, you know. So if you missed a rail, that was fully your fault, you know. Like you play Adventure 2 or you even play Heroes, right? You miss a rail, it was completely your fault, you know. Even 06, for example, you know, like you miss a rail, that's completely on you. You have full directional input, like, you know, like it just doesn't automate you to the rails. You can't home and attack onto the rails like in newer games. You gotta land on that rail and direct yourself with Sonic or whatever character you're playing as yourself, right? And with the boost games, all that stuff been stripped down or either taken away completely. You know what I mean? So, and while Unleashed does have momentum when it comes to rails, if you're not boosting on them, you don't really notice it, right? Because you're boosting on them. You know what I mean? But you do kind of feel the momentum a little bit though in Unleashed though, because it has it. But you know, it's not the main thing of the game, right? It's not the game. It's the boost gameplay, right? For example, so the boost games, in my opinion, are just more on rails. You have less freedom, and that comes to all the boost games. The only boost game that has that momentum feel that I like fully is Rush, and that's a 2D Sonic boost game. And yes, it's 2D Sonic, but it's not classic. And I don't hate classic, by the way. I don't hate classic Sonic at all. I love classic Sonic, you know, but it's a modern 2D Sonic boost game, you know, and Rush has that momentum-y feel still with the boost gameplay incorporated at the same time, you know, and that's why I love Rush so much. And I didn't grow up with Rush, so this is not like nostalgia talking or anything like that, you know. So Rush just is the perfect example of having that momentum-y feel with the boost gameplay at the same time, you know. That's just my opinion, though. What else I was going to say on that? I need to take a sip of water because I've been talking for 24 minutes right now, you know. But yeah, what else I was going to say? I don't want to make this video too long and drawn out, though. Just want to make this a quick Sonic talk, though, man, before I like cover Unleashed, you know. So I just don't have to do that in the intro. I can just get right into it and, you know, just show my gameplay off, or you know, whatever I do right, you know. What else I was going to say? So yes, the boost gameplay does feel more restricted to me than the adventure era gameplay, you know, in certain ways, in terms of movement, platforming, level design, all of that type of stuff, you know. But one thing about Unleashed, it keeps showing your toes, like, you know what I mean? And that's the best thing they did with this game, was incorporate keeping you on your toes, not the basic boost level design that, you know, we got in Forces or Colors, for example, even, you know, and even Generation still keeps you on your toes, and that's way more easier than Unleash, in my opinion, as well. So, you know, I just think the worst examples of the boost gameplay comes down to like the culprits being Colors, Forces, and in my opinion, Cyberspace and Frontiers. I don't like Cyberspace, you know, at all. It's similar to Forces, in my opinion. I just don't like it, but so when I tend to play Frontiers, I skip Cyberspace. I skip that crap, you know. If you like it, that's all fine and dandy, you know, but I don't like Cyberspace, you know. I just don't like it. But yeah, what else I was going to say on that? But yeah, the best examples of boost gameplay in the series is obviously like Shadow Gens, the original Generations that I love, you know, this game right here, and one of the best 2D Sonic games that I came to realize in recent years, which is Sonic Rush, you know. So those are the best examples of like the boost gameplay. Yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. Is there more? I don't think there's any more cons that I have to say about Unleash other than Arid Sands Nights. That level can go to hell, in my opinion, but that's for another topic, though. You know, if I ever cover that level, eventually soon, hopefully. You know, if I'm still here, you know, if I'm still breathing, you know, my lungs and all of that. You know what I mean? So, I don't know what I'm saying no more. Yeah, but Sonic Unleashed. Hopefully I can cover this soon eventually. I did get another request to do another Sonic game, or I think it was a fan game or something like that. So I'm gonna try to check that out too when I can. Hopefully soon again. You know, just due to schedule, work, all the other stuff. You know, just trying to get on the meaty grind and all of that. You know, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm being stupid as hell, man. I'm being stupid as hell. But anyway, I think that's all I gotta say about this game, really, man. Like, this is a top tier 3D Sonic game, like, you know, in the series. What more could I say about it? You know, not my favorite 3D Sonic game, not my favorite boost game. Again, it goes to Generations or Rush, you know, depending on how I feel, you know. But this is a great boost Sonic game. I'll probably put this third place if I'm like making a tier list or something. In boost games, it'll probably go third place, like after Generations, Rush, and I probably put this like number 3 in my opinion. But yeah, with that being said, though, I think that's all I gotta say, really. I don't think I have any more things to say. I think I said all I have to say about it, you know. I love the Werehog. I love the Werehog levels, except for Arid Sands Night, you know. The boost gameplay is really good in this game, really great, you know. All of that stuff keeps you on your toes, really great. You know, just not as, you know, this doesn't give me that feel, though, as Generations does. Though there's something about Unleashed that doesn't give me that same feel as Generations. I don't know what it is. I just love Generations way more, you know. But anyway, though, but an A-tier Sonic game still, in my opinion. What else I was going to say? This boost Sonic game, make you work for your S rank, you know. So I don't know how many of those I will be getting. I will try to get them if I can, but I probably mostly get A ranks. Some of the stages that I'm really good at, I probably can S rank them and all of that stuff when it comes to the boost levels, because it's really easy to get S ranks with the Werehog and all of that. So, you know, but yeah, I'm gonna open this up. I haven't actually opened this up in a while, actually, before I started recording this or whatever, man. You know, but I love the artwork on this too, man. You know, I love good artwork, man, on physical, with physical media, though. I will say that, you know, even though I'm more of a digital person myself nowadays, and you know, but that's just for a whole nother topic, man. But yeah, I'm just reading this, man. I don't know. I could have did this on my own time, but you know, I'm holding Sonic Unleashed, you know. So let me open this up right fast, actually. Oh snap! I forgot I had put like the GTA 5 disc in here, man. I haven't even played this game, I don't know when, man. But that's besides the point. Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now, but yeah, Sonic All Stars Racing, man. The spin-off Sonic series that everyone loves, even though Riders is better. But anyway, you know, yeah. I'm gonna have to look through this again on my own time again, man. You know, actually, hey, let's read the prologue together. You know, I'm already recording at 30 minutes already, man. If this thing would focus, I don't know if this is gonna focus or not. Focus! Focus! There we go. There we go. All right. A blue whirlwind flashed into the view of the, let's say, gargantuan battle fleet and began a hasty. This thing won't focus at all, man. You're messing up my freaking mojo thing, man. You know, you're messing up my mojo. I can't get this to focus for crap. Began a hasty but descriptive path to the central fortress where Dr. Eggman awaited. Oh yeah, man. Speaking of that, they should have made the intro, like they should have made the air, because that's what it was, a space egg fleet. You know, basically that's basically what it was. They should have made that an opening level to the game. That would have been so crazy, man. You know, I think that was a missed opportunity though. But I get why, you know, like how the story played out and all of that. But you know, that would have been a crazy opening though to unleash, like to be boosting through like a space egg fleet, I can't talk. Boosting through a space egg fleet, basically, you know, to get to Eggman, you know. Then after that, you know, that's when he knocks him down to Earth after he, like, you know, shocks him and infuses him with the Dark Gaia, whatever you call it stuff, and, you know, he turns him into the Werehog and all of that. So, but, you know, that's just imagining, you know what I mean? So, yeah, awaited, and what was to be their final showdown, Sonic harassed the power of the Chaos Emeralds and transform into Super Sonic. I can't see that because of the light. Dealing destructive blows to Dr. Eggman's precious machinery. Yeah, I haven't actually read that before, so I'm actually going to read more of this on my own time. Because I never even looked through the manual like that of this game, to be honest with you. It's like this. I think this is the first time I'm looking through this, like, while recording this. No lie. You know, but anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. You know, just wanted to do this. I don't know why. Sonic Talk, right? You know, Sonic Talk. With that being said, though, if you enjoy the vids, anyone that is you know, watching the vids, if you do enjoy them, I don't know why you would enjoy them. You know, I'm just an ugly, you know, Ray. That is, you know, that's who I be. You know what I mean? But I'm just me, you know, and you're you. You know. Never forget that. But yeah, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Hopefully I can cover on at least soon. If you do like the vids, I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. I don't, you know, I'm just making Sonic content just because I love to play the games, right? You know what I mean? So nothing special really, you know. So if you do really enjoy the vids or something like that, I really do appreciate it, you know. With that being said, though, don't knock this off of the thing. I can be clumsy sometimes. I don't know why, you know. I don't know what be going on with me, man. But, yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. I'm trying to work on not saying my name too much. I don't know why. I just have a habit of saying my name a lot when I get on here and record for some strange reason. But you know my name by now, you know. Never forget that Sonic Heroes is the greatest 3D Sonic game ever devised, ever created, ever thought of, ever, you know, came into existence. And I will be doing that game eventually, you know, no doubt about it, you know. But with that being said, though, you never give up, you never give in, and till next time, you know, peace.